Hi everyone and welcome to my live stream. Today I have Andy back again. This time he's on Wildcard, so I'm very excited to have him here and actually grill him about his team. Andy, how you doing?
Yeah, good mate. Grill me. That sounds like question time on Newsnight or something. But
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah, well, I need to go hard. People, listen, over social media, everyone's been talking about your team in general for the first 3 weeks, mainly because you've got no Haaland. So you've
yeah,
been
that's.
taking a lot of heat with that, especially in game week 3, for example, the back-to-back hat tricks.
I mean, game week 3 was crazy. Like, I was at work all day. It was the busiest time of the year for us. At like, it was bank. I think it was it the yeah. We had an air show weekend, and when Haaland got the hat trick, so I was off my phone most of the day. But coming back to notifications after the day, I'm like, wow, that is insane. Like people just going at it. Like Haaland hat trick again, mate. Where are you? Deal with it. And I didn't post back too much until the next day, and then Salah hat trick, and it's like, sorry, what? Sorry, what? Sorry, like here we go. Like it's all fun and games, and it's great. It's great banter most of the time.
So we'll get straight into it. Looking at your game week 1, you started the season really well, 88 points. And then, to be fair, I mean, the first 3 averages for this season are extremely high, but your second game week, you took a bit of a blow,
yeah,
67. But then game week 3, you're still there, 76. And overall rank, as you can see, 665,000, nothing to be seen higher than me. And I've got the so-called Haaland. So it tells you you can go the other way. You've also got 3 transfers banked. Is that right?
yeah. I haven't used a transfer, so I've had the same team for the same squad for the first 3 weeks. So yeah, no transfers made, which was always my plan to start off with. So I'm pleased that worked out.
So you've
And
been very lucky there, Andy, with injuries, or have you had injuries and you just left them on the bench?
no injuries, but I felt I had a squad that I could deal with 1 or 2 injuries anyway, and I was
Yeah.
prepared to go with it. So in certain weeks, like the last couple of weeks, this week just gone, I benched Smith Rowe. He didn't get anything, and the week before that I got Gibbs White, so I missed out on his goal. But it's I said to myself, if I have an injury, I've got players that can come on. So I was determined to get to like the wild card this week without making any transfers. So yeah, it's worked out pretty well, and it's going to plan. Obviously, the Haaland double hat trick has dented my rank, and that's what it is. He's capable. So, but I'm really happy with how I've started. Yeah.
Do you look at it as that you've been very unlucky that Haaland has gone back-to-back hat tricks, or do you look at it that you've been very lucky that Salah's actually matched him? Well, how do you see it? Is
Yeah,
it?
I'm really happy that Salah's managed to keep up the pace with him. I mean, I wouldn't have expected it perhaps to Salah to go that much as Haaland. I think Haaland hat trick game week 2 against Ipswich. You're looking at thinking, yeah, he could hat trick there, and it was more to do with the fixture in 1, the fixture in 3. It's like if I can get away with a goal in those games, I'll be fine. But back-to-back hat tricks, he's capable. He started amazing. He's had the summer off, so he looked great. But would have been nice if he'd just got a couple of goals, perhaps, rather than the 3.
Yeah, he was. I will say this: when I saw the back-to-back hat tricks, I did think the non-Haaland owners would be doomed, but then Salah has kept up pace and really kept you guys in the mix. And I'm not quite sure if the Haaland Salah owners that own both teams are the ones that are really flying. I've seen a real mixed bag. It goes to show you it's the rest of the team. It's not just either you have one of those or both of those, if that makes sense, Andy. I've seen a combination. I've seen people with Salah, no Haaland. So
yeah, I've seen people in the top 50k that just had Salah, and they just played it well and got all the other points around it. No.
So if your team, if you've started so well and you've rolled 3 transfers, your rank is very good considering it's only 3 game weeks in. It don't mean much, but why are you wildcarding?
It was always the plan to try and attack 4 and 5. Mainly the Arsenal fixtures. I didn't really particularly like to have Saka and Havertz for Spurs and City away. So my idea was, okay, look at 4 and 5, try and smash it with Villa, try and smash it with Brighton, who have got good fixtures, and saving the transfers from the first 3 weeks, and then going into game week 6 with 4 free transfers and thinking, okay, great, I've attacked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How can I then kind of revert to a team that I want for the longer term from come game week 6? So these 2 weeks for me, 4 and 5, I'm trying to look at it thinking, how can I get the most out of it? and really attack these 2 weeks with the transfer still in hand.
And you've not, as the season has gone well, I know you've had a plan and you said you're not gonna divert from it, but you haven't considered to go one more week or to game week 6, which is being touted as a not optimum, but a very good game week because of the fixture swings for Arsenal, say in Brentford. You've not considered that holding enough. It's only 2 more game weeks. You've got free transfers.
Yeah, I consider doing the other way, where you use the free transfers in this week to attack it, and then wildcard in 6. And I thought it was pretty close, but I particularly there's enough players that I wanted to switch from, and then these next 2 weeks is kind of look at it and go, yeah, I want these players. And I didn't have Eze from the start, so I wanted him. Double Brighton, maybe double Villa, coming off the Arsenal, and yeah, I'm building a squad again, really.
Okay, and on that note, let's actually get straight into it. And then you can talk me through your proposed wildcard. Let me just bring this up here.
Yeah, I'm not settled on it at all, and I've not had much chance to look at it.
Well, as you run me through, you can let me know which ones at the moment you think are set or locked in, and which ones you're not sure they could change depending on, just more information.
Yeah, I'm really only set, I'd say perhaps 5. 5 playing ones, and I think I'll have Vissa, I'll have Saliba, and I'm really happy to build the whole squad. So I'll keep Saliba and Vissa on the bench, and I think I'm pretty set on that because I think they're good options come game week 6 to bring back into the team, and solid options, right? So if you need to call upon them, I can do. Salah, great fixtures coming up. Trent, been amazing. Eze, again, I think he's a lock. I quite like the both keepers, especially for Bruggen next to. Then you've got Flecken's fixtures coming in for Brentford, and that runs quite nicely all the way through as well. So
I was going to ask you on that actually, Andy. The double goalkeeper, for example.
Yeah.
You haven't considered the Pickford or Araya? Is that not being in your case at all? You prefer just...
No, I mean, if I was going to go Raya, I'd still want someone like Verbruggen as well. I like to have 2 keepers, because if I just have the one and something happens, if they're suspended or injured, making that goalkeeper transfer is so tough. But if you've got 2 and you can play the other one while the other one's suspended or injured, and then he comes back into the team, like, I don't want to waste a transfer on a goalkeeper particularly. And it's something that served me well the last few seasons, where I've always had 2 keepers at this stage that can see me right through, and the rotation for both of them look quite good. So I've looked at the rotation, and for like 20 weeks, it looks absolutely fine, and I'm happy to stick on that.
So goalkeepers, no problem. Normally a boring position anyway, to be honest. We move straight on to, I love your double Liverpool defense. Now, Liverpool's an interesting one. We've started the season really well. Like 3, maybe not the hardest fixtures, but still, you've got to beat what's in front of you. 3 wins, no goals conceded. Have you considered any other Liverpool permutations? I think the Liverpool triple is a must, but just you could go so many different ways. Like you could put Diaz beside Salah and drop Robertson. Have you considered any other combination, or no? You're happy?
Yeah, no,
throwing you to the fullbacks.
No, I've definitely considered it. Salah and Trent, like, I can't ignore that. I think they're the 2 that are locked in. Really happy with how they look and how they perform. Robertson is taking up some good positions. They look solid defensively, and I think there's attacking returns for Robertson there, but it's not necessarily a lock, because I think Diaz, even Jota, still looking good. The thing that puts me off is the quick turnaround for AC Milan next Tuesday. The turnaround from the South Americans coming back, like, it could be quite short term anyway. So going for Diaz, and then he's on the bench this weekend, and then you're thinking, oh no, okay, this is not going well. So I think with Robertson, it's more reliable, and that's the way I'm hedging towards at the moment.
You have any concerns of what the unknown? Another good waiting for the wildcard game week 6. I suppose the only other advantage is the information we will get of what managers are going to do with European fixtures. Has that been on your mind? Because then you might see a pattern. Some managers tend to, give less players in minutes in the Prem before the game, before Champions League, and vice versa.
Yeah, that's the big thing on my mind, the European teams. So I'm worried about Watkins' minutes.
Yeah.
I'm worried about like how Liverpool rotate, but I think Trent and Salah would still be okay for the league, and I think Salah's going to play most of the minutes in the league, so I'm okay with that. It's the Villa guys. The other Liverpool attackers can switch in and out, but I've tried to avoid it a little bit. I'm not. The more it goes on, the more I'm less certain on Watkins because of the minutes he's had and how well Duran's done.
Yeah.
And it might just be the case where you go back to Isaac because of the no European games. Like Eze, no European games, plays every minute, brilliant. Palmer's not in the Europa squad, so you think, okay, league, he's going to get the majority of the minutes there, fine. Same with Semenyo. He looks like now the talisman for Bournemouth.
Yeah, Semenyo's numbers are very, very impressive. I did not expect that, Andy. When I saw him in your draft, and I've been speaking about him in other videos I've done, but he's actually top of the list for like shots per minute, top of the list for goal attempts. His statistics are unreal. I didn't expect that. I've not kept a big eye on Bournemouth this season, but that took me by surprise there. Do you think that's going to continue?
I think even from last season, it's not like, oh, Semenyo's come onto the scene this season. I think last season he was playing amazing. I think he was great. Any time I watched Bournemouth, it was like, oh, Semenyo's picked up the ball. He's direct. He's looking to attack. He's looking to create, and he's carried on that form in the first 3 games this year. And I really rate him, and I think Bournemouth should be excited by him. And looking at the way they're building their team, like Semenyo looks like the guy, right? I think so. Yeah, and he wasn't in initially, but I think no European talisman for me for Bournemouth. I think he's.
What's Bournemouth's fixtures? Let's have a look.
They're
not the best when you look at them on the scout ticker, or if you look at them even on Legomani's ticker. They're not ideal, are they?
Yeah, originally I've put him in my team and then benched him.
Yeah.
To play 6 and 7. Because I think the 6 and 7 fixtures were like standing out. Southampton, Leicester, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
so those games you can play him in, but then after he's got Arsenal, Villa, and Man City.
Yeah, and that could be a transfer out.
That's what.
Or he's cheap enough where you can just stick him on the bench.
And okay, that's amazing. But we haven't finished with your defense. Lewis, talk to me about Lewis. He's been incredible. Like, I'll be honest with you, I've been watching him. I'm really jealous. I don't have him in my team. But in the back of my mind, do you think he's going to stay in the team long enough? Like, is Walker? I know Walker came on the other day and he even took a Vardio for him, which was interesting. But is it now? Is he going to be one of the main players now in this City team?
I think it's really punty. And again, for me, I'm just like, Lewis, please play game week 4.
Yeah,
because he's cheap enough. Again, like Semenyo with the tough fixtures, where I've got okay assets on the bench. So Lewis and Semenyo can be benched, and say game week 5 when Lewis has Arsenal, happily play Dunk instead of him and bench him, and then Lewis can just sit there until I decide to change it up, because I'm happy with just Lewis on the bench as like my third bench slot. Because by game week 6, you've got Vista, you've got Saliba coming in, so kind of the game week 4 punt. I'm just like, if Lewis can play one more, then I'm happy. Then it's like bench time, great, cheap enough, come in if necessary. But I feel like if I went without him and he does continuously play, Pep trusts him, then I'm really going to regret it.
I'm
almost rather like play him and get the 1 point against Brentford and go, okay, it's not worked out.
I'm in agreement with you, Andy. I'm in agreement with you. The way he's been, have you been watching his performances?
Oh, mate.
There's been certain games he's taking more touches than Haaland and every attacker in the box.
Yeah,
he's hit post.
How has he not got more points?
It's incredible. He's one of the few players I watched and I was thinking, you know what? I've been very lucky because he could have hauled in a couple of games. He's been that close. He's in an incredible position, incredible player. It's just whether, like you said, he stays, but you're willing. So, is he one of the 5 you said you almost locked, or not really, Andy?
I can't see me taking him out because of how well he's performed, and it's this Brentford fixture at home. If I just kind of want to give him this game, and then because it's Arsenal, I go, it's Arsenal, so I can bench. It's fine. It's 4.5, 4.6.
Yeah.
Like, I got Dunk at home next week. Fine, not an issue. But just to have this Brentford fixture where he could go off, he could get an attacking return, they could clean, he could play.
Yeah.
So I think he's near enough there. And because I've got the strength and depth, it's just getting through this week. And then if I then think, oh, he's played against Arsenal. Oh, he's played against Newcastle away. Is Pep just trusting him? Then from game week 7, I've got him again to kind of come in. So yeah.
Does this bother you? Look what Getty FPL's put up. He's Ake's come off with a bad injury tonight.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. How much do you reckon that hinders City or any of their defensive picks?
I like Ake a lot. He's a good defender. They've still got depth, so they could still easily go for Kvadio, Akanji, Diaz, Stones. But it's a loss certainly because they like Ake and use him a lot. So
fair. And to finish off on your defenders, we've already spoken about. I mean, that 3 there is delicious. Dunk and Saliba. Let's go to Saliba. Why Saliba over Gabriel?
Good question. I think it's a lot of people go to Gabriel perhaps, but I just think Saliba's perhaps more nailed. I don't see there's a big difference in attacking threat. I do think Saliba's just as lethal from set pieces. So just a more classy defender in my eyes. And if there's someone to miss out, maybe it's Gabriel, because I don't think Saliba comes out of the two.
And is your plan to bench Saliba for the upcoming fixtures? So he's got, obviously, the next 2 are very tricky.
Yeah, Saliba and Vista will be on the bench next to, yeah.
But what do you think of Arsenal? Did you hear the first of all, Rice is obviously missing with red card, bit of a soft red card. But and also the news of Odegaard. Did you see his injury last night?
Yeah, horrible injury. Yeah,
horrible injury. What do you think of that? What do you think that impacts Arsenal as a whole?
Massively. I think they're 2 of the best midfielders in the league. So
yeah.
they're so integral. It's like the spine of Arsenal.
Agree.
It's going to be tough without them. And I think because Rice just missing 1 game though, so he's back for City, right?
Yeah.
It's just 2 yellows, so that's a benefit. But if Odegaard's out for City game as well, I think it could be really tough. And I think if they lose both, the title might be already gone. Like the drop points against Brighton,
surely
you lose against Spurs, lose against City. Like I know
surely that's too early, Andy. Surely I know City are relentless, and even Liverpool have started pretty good, but it's very early in the season. I think but yeah, the way the league's gone in the last couple of years, last 4 years, maybe it is if they lose both games, maybe if they draw and win. I don't know.
I mean, maybe the Arsenal go more defensive against City because of the Odegaard. Like they really nail it down and just try and get that 0-0 again.
Well, last season they done that, and everyone complained. They're saying that's not how you win a championship. You should have gone there and set your stall out to try. You don't agree with that? You can't.
I just think, look, if Arteta comes out and goes, we've lost our creative hub in midfield, like we needed just to park the bus and get a point in the City and try to be defensive, and just to save ourselves a bit, because it's going to be tough anyway. But without Odegaard, then that's going to be I'm in agreement with you. I think he's one of the best midfielders in the Premier in Europe. Yeah,
stop. Yeah. He's an elite player. So let's move on to your midfield, Andy. So Eze for me is one of my favorite picks. So like this week, a lot of people started the season with him. He blanked a couple. People got frustrated and got rid of him out. And now, if you look at the trends, they're bringing him back in now, Andy.
I was unbelievably happy to see him drop to 6.9. I was
same.
I was trying to like post on Twitter like, oh, I got to sell Eze, get him out. Like it's not worth it. 2 blanks, knowing full well how good he is and how good these fixtures are coming up. And people did it. People got rid of him after 2 blanks, and
they did.
He was performing well. It wasn't playing badly. So to pick him at 6.9 is a lovely little bonus there.
I was astonished to see him go. He's having like shots every 18 minutes. He's having shots. He's been playing in such an advanced position, very central. He's created like his goal attempts 15 so far in 3 games, Andy. So like you, I think sometimes if you don't see the outcome, people are very frustrated. But when you look deeper into it, he's been very unlucky because he's been playing so well. I know Palace, the first 2 games, a little bit shaky, and even Glasner wasn't happy. He was talking about the noise around the club. And they've lost a couple they nearly lost more players, but they did lose a couple players. But for me, Eze, locked in for me. So he's one of your ones that's locked in.
He is. I can't see me. I mean, I think Leicester are the worst team in the league. Personally,
Yeah.
I think them and Southampton, Ipswich have impressed me more than the other two. But I think Leicester at home, I think it's an easy game for Palace, and expect him to do well. Yeah,
I agree with you. I think Leicester's he's got good fixture. I think after Leicester's at Manchester United at home. They've got two fixtures back to back at Old Trafford.
Wolves, Everton, Ipswich coming up. Yeah, what was it?
There we go. They've got Leicester, Manchester United. Those games both at Sellers Park. You know how difficult it is there. Then after that, Everton, Liverpool, Forest, Tottenham, and then Wolves. So good fixtures.
Yeah.
He's someone you can play just week in, week out.
Yeah. You trust the minutes. He's on pens. He's a baller. I love watching him. So, like, give me, like, if he's playing against Leicester, I want to see that. I want to see Eze at home to Leicester. He's going to be all like on everything basically. So,
yeah. So to next player, Palmer. Why Palmer at this point? Why not? So I just want to ask you, why have you singled him out, Palmer, instead of say Son, Saka? How comes Palmer?
I think Son with the two fixtures coming up. I don't particularly like playing players at City if I can avoid it. So Palmer's fixtures, Chelsea's fixtures, decent, and I just think again it's the minutes, it's the pens, it's how he looks playing number 10 position. I think Palmer's carry on the form from last year. Like we saw it against Wolves, demolition job. He's clinical. He's setting up Madueke for his chances, and I think that more of that's going to come with this Chelsea team. They're a good attacking force, and Palmer's the man.
Agree.
Palmer's the man. I think Chelsea's fixtures are pretty good.
Chelsea's fixtures are lovely, Andy. It's a shame you while on wildcard you can't get more in because their next four fixtures. Have a look here. They're very, very good. Where are they? They got Bournemouth, West Ham, Brighton, and Nottingham Forest. Good fixtures. Only thing with Chelsea is we know as a team they're a bit random. You saw against Crystal Palace for all their attacking, they still drew the game. You're not quite sure. Like you're not quite sure what you're going to get with them. Defensively, they're poor. I think attacking wise, they're very good. Palmer makes sense. Is he a long-term pick, or do you got a plan in place where you're going to ship him out and swap him for someone else?
No, long-term pick for me at the moment. It'll be Salah to make way for Saka coming in 6, which sounds crazy at the moment because Salah started the season so well. But again, just looking at fixtures, I can go back to Salah if necessary. But Palmer's the one that's the long term for me, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like him so much. Just on Chelsea, more and more as the week goes on, Jackson's in my mind. They haven't got. He seems to be in favour. He's going to get chances. Is Jackson better pick than Watkins? Like that's now in my mind. Watkins' fixtures are great next 2, but
it sounds crazy, but I actually looked at that. Jackson, is he going to continue playing? I'm not quite sure what Maresca's got planned with. He's got a luxury of lovely loads of attackers there. But is Jackson? I said at the end of last season that if they didn't play him through the middle, they would lose a lot because the off the ball running, the way he runs the channels. You might criticize him for his finishing, but I actually rate him for what he gives the team, Andy. You know, if you've played football and you've got a striker like that in front of you, he will always bail you out. If there's not a pass on, you can just hit him. I think he's very important to the team, but I do like him. I've not seen him in many teams.
No, I do like him. He could definitely be in my team.
What about? Yeah, go on.
The Watkins and Duran is concerning for me. Duran feels like he's ready to start. Like he's been that good, and when he's come on, he's not shied away from getting shots away and scoring, and he's challenging Watkins.
See, look, Jackson saying, Andy Max saying, I'd have Jackson on wildcard this week. I think some do agree, yeah. He's doing all right in those fixtures. What about Madueke? Have you considered him or no?
No.
Cheap Andy in that attack, and he's putting up the numbers. His numbers are there as well. It's not just the Wolves game. Even against Palace, I think he had 3 shots. Oli Henderson kept him out, so it's not just a one-off where he got. I know his numbers will be skewed by the Wolves game, but he has been playing. He's there on merit at the moment.
You think he continues to start?
I think so. I know they've got a luxury, as I said, of attackers, but it looks like that is the sort of front 3 at the moment.
I hear you. Yeah.
But you're not fancying him, nah. Oli Palmer, and maybe Jackson.
I can always move to Madueke if I think, okay, he is starting. He's the guy. But I'm more set on Palmer, and I think one's going to be there for enough for now. Yeah.
Look at this. I'm not happy with your potential setup. Palmer and Semenyo playing each other.
I hear Semenyo. I'm always tempted to play Dunk. I am tempted to play Dunk. I am, and that was my initial thought. But it's an attacker, isn't it? Would you play Dunk or Semenyo this week?
I'd play Semenyo. I know it sounds crazy. I'm not. That doesn't bother me at times when teams, when it's an attacker versus a defender, that does get to my mind a little bit. But when it's just two attackers playing each other, Chelsea are going to concede chances. So Semenyo playing, no, I'd play him over Dunk.
Yeah, I also might be going Saturday night.
Oh, that's even better. So
yeah. My mate's got a season ticket and he's off on holiday, so I'm pestering him at the moment. I want to see it. Yeah.
So Palmer, let's move on to Rodgers. I'm going to try and speed it up now a little bit. So Rodgers, a lot of people have gone there. He's had a very good start to the season. Like performance-wise, I was very impressed. And Unai Emery must rate him because very rare you let a player that's allowed to drive and dribble through the middle. Normally, they're the players that lose the ball, so you put them wide, Andy. So if they lose, they're not at your back. If they lose the ball, they're not at your back four. But he's given that privilege. So it tells me he's a good player and he's rated. But he has not returned. And it won't be long before people do get frustrated. Believe it or not, even at that price.
Yeah.
But you're content with him?
Yeah, again, I like the fixtures, like Villa. I think he's looked good. I've almost got the money to move him to like an Embremo. I've got a bit of money in the bank in this team. So, but I don't see another option between him and like a 6.5 that I'd prefer, really. So it's not to do with the funds. I just think Rodgers looks decent and the fixtures are there. Keep him in and see how he does. And if not, I can move him on. So
Rodgers at that price, I think he can stay in your team. I think if you've got the choice, you're on wildcard, you've not considered like a Smith role to try and fit him in instead of a Rodgers. No.
I own Smith for a game week 1 to 3 for the fixtures. He had the 2 promoted clubs. He got a goal, got the bonus. That's fine. Like I don't see Fulham as good as Villa. So I want to invest in the Villa with these good fixtures, especially next couple.
Makes sense. But Rodgers, fair play. I think if I was wildcarding, he'd be in my team as well. He's in a lot of people's teams already. Salah. Now, this is your Liverpool triple up. This is the guy, Andy, that's been bailing you out of no Haaland.
Thank you, Mo. Like, King Salah, appreciate all you've done, mate. It's been an excellent 3 weeks. Yeah, it just looks good again, doesn't he?
He looks so sharp. Like,
so
honestly,
creative as well. Like, it's the assists, yeah.
Funny you should say that. I think I've gone on my videos when I was talking about. I think he's going to break the assist record this season.
You think so?
Yeah. It's 20 at the moment, isn't it? Or is it Henry and KDB?
That De Bruyne?
Yeah, both of them, and Henry. Tells you what an elite player Henry was, scoring those many goals and those assists. But I think Salah could break it this season. In this system and the way we're attacking under slot, yeah, I really fancy him. I'm actually gutted he's not in my team and didn't start the season with him.
Yeah, I think Salah for me, certainly captain this week, captain next week. It's a decision because the plan is to go to Salah to Saka, but
what against Spurs? What in game week 6?
It's going to be tough. I know. I need to get to that point first. Okay.
You seen the way Spurs defend, yeah, Andy? Yeah.
I know. We'll get to game week 6 when we get it's going to be the hardest thing in the world to go Salah to Saka, but we'll see what happens.
Okay, and I've got a question on that, but we're going to come to it when we talk about your attackers. Obviously, the elephant in the room there. But Salah, that's an easy pick. We don't even need to spend too much time on him. It's like everyone. Like he's just one of the best players in the world. And then Semenyo, we've already spoken about. Nice price, incredible stats. It remains to be seen whether he maintains that. That's the interesting part. But for me, I was so surprised when I was making videos and looking into the numbers. Ridiculous. But let's go up front.
Yep.
This is the obvious one. Is this stubbornness now, Andy? You're still going no Haaland. What am I witnessing here? Back-to-back hat tricks, and you're still going no Haaland.
He's still 15 million. He's 15.2 million.
He scored 64 goals in 67 Premier League games, Andy.
elite player, unbelievable. He's going to get a lot of City goals. He could get 40 league goals. Unbelievable. Like, there's no doubt. What a striker, what a finisher, elite level. All the goals for City get Haaland, but he's 15.2 million. People are putting him in their teams. I've seen their benches. I've seen weaknesses in their squads. Haaland, after this fixture, Brentford, has got Arsenal. I don't particularly like Newcastle away at the early fixture, which people saying I should do, but I don't particularly like it. And then we get to game week 7, and that's a decision that I'll have to make then. But for now, hopefully Brentford can keep him down to 1 or 2 goals. That's fine. Like, okay, we can deal with it. Arsenal's going to be tough. I think Newcastle away's tough, and then I'd make another decision in 7. So, like, the hat trick shouldn't affect. Like, he's looked amazing. He's great, but it's a lot of compromise, and I think I still prefer the squad and the interchangeable squad that I've got, where I've built up these transfers. I've got an idea in mind to attack fixtures. So, like, Vista and Saliba on the bench. It's a strong bench, but I can change it when it comes to it with Semenyo and, say, Lewis. Use my transfers that I've saved up because I've got this squad.
Yeah.
And actually have, like, luxury transfers rather than needing to do transfers. So, for me, yeah, amazing, great. He's going to get points. We know that. Great captain against Brentford. But I like the squad.
It's feasible, Andy. It's feasible. In game week 6, if you took out Salah, say for Saka, you would be without Salah and Haaland.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's feasible.
And who would you captain? Palmer against?
I would have Saka captain against Leicester, yeah.
Okay.
In 6, yeah.
Okay. Still, fair play to you. I think there are people shipping him out anyway. You could see in the sales for even with the back-to-back hat tricks because of his fixtures. Let's talk about Watkins. Something's clearly not right with Watkins this season.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's been murmurs, or I don't know if he's even actually confirmed. Has he been picked up an injury? Because he's not exactly was exerted in the Euros. So what's happened to him? He looks off. You could see even the chance that Rodgers actually put on the plate for him. He's just that little millisecond late.
I think it's the lack of preseason. He's been away with England, hasn't he? So
yeah.
Has he come back too soon? Because I think perhaps they should have given him a couple more weeks to kind of get his fitness up more. Where they've chucked him in, and he's looks sluggish a little bit as well.
He has. Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I'm not hot on Watkins. I'm hot on the fixtures. Is the main thing. I think Watkins hopefully still starts. But if Emery comes out in the press conference and says, "Yeah, Watkins we're trying to get him up to fitness," and just negative stuff does put me off a little bit. So I can see Watkins changes Jackson perhaps, but
yeah. Look, on the chat, there's some comments to me. Yeah, let me first say this. Please like and subscribe, as Nima said. Thank you, Nima. But Getty saying, you're wasting your 9 million, Andy. Look at this. You're wasting. He's coming off every 60th minute. Surely that's too much money.
Yeah, I can't argue, but that's going to change. It's not necessarily, he's come off early, but has he used his international break to injury to get his fitness back up and go back to Villa and go, look, okay, I'm going to be getting my sharpness up. I needed this rest and break and get me up to speed. I'm ready to go. Put me in, boss, kind of thing. So, yeah, we'll see. It's a difficult situation. I think I was set on Watkins game week 4 because the fixtures are there. But now the way he started the first 3 weeks, I'm less certain. And also, Isaac looks all right. And I've taken Isaac out, and I quite like Isaac a lot. So
same.
Yeah,
I'm hot on him. I like his minutes are good as well. He's like the main guy at Newcastle. Fixtures are decent.
Yeah.
So if Watkins comes out, say Jackson comes in, what are you going to do with the money? Is there a backup plan? Would you upgrade someone else in midfield, or you just what are you going to do?
I'd probably keep it. Just if I did Watkins to Jackson, it might be like 2.5 million, 3 million spare.
Yeah.
And that can allow me to do the game week 6 switches if necessary. So I can do like Rodgers to Mbremo, Salah to Saka, or even if I've got 3 million in the bank, then the Haaland game week 7 becomes a lot easier if I decide to do that. So
That's a good point, actually. Yeah. Yeah. I like the way you're giving yourself a little out there just in case, which is good. Yeah. You don't need to. It's the possibility you have to go there. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it could be the case where I go like Salah to Saka, Robertson down to a 4 mil, who's like third bench spot.
Yeah.
And then maybe that's enough money to move up to Haaland.
Yeah. Now that makes sense. And Pedro, did you consider Welbeck? Welbeck's had a great start to the season.
Yeah. Definitely so. Welbeck's good. Pedro, though, I like for the minutes. I think he looks sharp again. I think I'm impressed by the way Brighton have done. And I think that's another thing as well. Like, I almost want another Brighton attacker for these two fixtures. So definitely in midfield, Minter and Matoma.
Yeah.
Someone else I'm considering. And Semenyo could be Minter or Matoma, then move to Semenyo later on, perhaps in a couple of weeks when the fixtures turn. So, but then
you've got
that's changed Dunk to someone else there as well.
Because you've got the money on the bench if you really wanted to move someone and make them do that tactic that you said now, put a third sub, make them a 4 million, and you've got that money to improve, say, a Rodgers or someone right now. It's one of those Brighton midfielders.
Yeah, but I'm not sure it's an improvement. I like Rodgers as well. It's a difficult one. So I mean, Semenyo could be Minter. Semenyo could be Matoma, and I could almost change it around that way, and then look at Semenyo in a couple of weeks, perhaps.
Is this a problem? Ferguson back? Is that going to be a problem for Pedro, or do we see Pedro being a solid pick? He started the season really well.
It's difficult. I think Brighton have got a lot of attackers because Jorginho Ruta, they spent all that money on him. Does he come in as well? I think Adingra has started the season well. Matoma and Pedro travelling lots of miles. I know Adingra's playing in Africa, I think, as well. But it's all... Yeah, there's players, certainly. Ferguson, Welbeck, Pedro, Adingra, Jorginho, Matoma, Minter. I don't know how we're going to go. But I think Pedro's still the one that's most reliable. That's perhaps. I saw the Kadioglu.
Yeah. Too early to go there, though, isn't it?
I'm more a Dunk reliable guy, really.
And let's finish on your attackers, Wissa. Now he's on your third bench. When do you plan to be using him?
Yeah, game week 6 for Brentford when the fixtures turn.
So straight away he comes in, and then rotate between Pedro. Watkins going to play all the games, so it's Pedro that goes out.
Yeah, because I can see that Watkins spot changing as well. So, I mean, Watkins could be Havertz, Jackson could be Havertz come game week 6, same game week 7 if I don't particularly like that spot. And if I haven't got the money to Haaland, then Havertz can come in as well. So, but with I think I want him there on the bench. Again, if someone's going to play, he's reliable, 6 million, good enough to bench these next two. But then game week 6, I think him and Mbeumo are going to be in a lot of teams.
Yeah. And you're waiting to bring Mbeumo in as well?
Yeah, another one for 6. So I'll have 4 free transfers in 6. I don't plan to make any transfers 4 or 5 with this squad. It will take like 4 injuries for me to make a transfer.
For you to, yeah.
So game week 6, I've kind of looked at it thinking, yeah, Saka's in. Mbeumo will probably come in. Maybe another Arsenal, but if Odegaard's still injured, that could be just Saka and Saliba. That might be enough.
Has the rolling of 5 transfers changed your management style? Because I'm looking at your team, you're using the whole squad. Yeah. Normally, me personally, how I play, I used to use 1 or 2 spots, just not dead, but cheapest players that might come on and give me 1 or 2 pointers. I've seen now you've actually got a squad. It's like you're in the Premier League, Andy. You've got a full playing team here.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I want to make the transfers that I want to make, and I don't want to. So, like, if Salah gets injured this week, say, for example, Salah to Saka is my plan in 6. So in game week 5, I can just bench Salah. Where other managers, Salah's injured for 2 weeks or Salah's injured, I'll have to make a transfer because I don't want to play, I don't know, Greaves or something. And I see that a lot of teams. And I think for me, if I'm planning to do Salah to Saka in 6 and Salah gets injured, I can just cover it for a week and still make my transfer that I want to make in 6 rather than I have to make in 5 because I've got the squad to cover it. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm happy to... Like, if Palmer gets injured, if he's out for a couple of weeks, okay, cool, I'll just play Visser. Not ideal, but Visser's there. Plays every week for Brentford, see what happens. I want to save these transfers for luxury and making the moves I want to make rather than have to make. And I think that makes a difference in the playing style for me this week.
Fair.
Like this season. I don't want to make a goalkeeper transfer, so I've got two keepers. I'm happy with the squad rather than playing the same 11 every week. I don't think that's optimal. I don't think there'll be teams next week in game week 5 that will play Saliba or Gabriel, and they'll play Haaland, and they'll play Raya. And it's just that to me doesn't seem the best way to play. Like, oh yeah, but I want them for the week after. But okay, but you still got to play these players this week. I'm trying to make my team as best I can every week. I'm trying to play against the promoted teams as often as I can.
But have you always, going back to that question, Andy, have you always done that? Or is it the 5 transfer role that's made you change? Is it mainly that's made you go, no, I'm going to improve my squad?
The more I play, the more I've had a squad, more than just a week bench. So every season I seem to be playing more with a squad.
Okay.
Than rather than just 11 week in, week out. I don't want to be in a situation where my bench is so weak that I can't rely on them, and if a player gets injured, I have to make a transfer. It just
Can I be honest with you, Andy? That's something I never used to consider, and this season it's already hurt me. And last season as well. I think I've got away with it. Last, say, 4 or 5 years, I've had good seasons in FPL, but I think the luck, especially with injuries, has gone my way. Last 2 seasons, I felt pain. And what I mean by that is I've put every penny into the starting 11, and maybe one sub was sort of my rule that plays. Say, like, I might have a Smith or a Rodgers, and the rest were junk. That's not worked recently. Combination of squads in the Premier League getting so big, they can just freely rotate and the quality is like for like. And the combination of just injuries in European football, it has really impacted me. And what you said, what you're trying to avoid, I've actually done. I've made, just this season, Solanke, Kwanzaa, Hall, I've ticked all the boxes there, mate. And if I had a squad, I could have potentially rested someone, but I didn't. I was forced. Every transfer I've had to use.
Yeah,
I had Nkuku as well, Andy. So I ticked every player that was available. I'm not saying combination of that is a little bit of unlucky, but also I've had no bench, so I've not helped myself. I've had no contingency.
Yeah, and that's unlucky that you've had all those injuries. I mean, I had Hall.
Yeah.
So I just benched him because I had other players that can come in. So I didn't need to transfer him out necessarily.
That's my point, yeah. But yeah, fair play. I like that. I was going to say, I've seen a couple of questions. We'll come back to them at the end. We're nearly done soon, actually. And then we'll have a quick Q&A. So if there's any questions, put them in the chat. Rate Andy's wildcard team. Let me know what you think. Andy,
people go say I've spread the money. And
this one's come up. This one, this doesn't sound that great, mate. Terrible squad.
Yeah, that's fine. I hear it.
You're not too. You're not stressing. You're comfortable in your skin. I've seen you. I've seen how you play FPL. Before we move away from your teams, anything else you wanted to add? Any big players that are not in there that you're really upset about, or obviously we can't fit everyone in. But is there something that's really close? Something on your mind? You're thinking, you know what? I need to get him in.
I mean, I don't want to diss people that have the tactic of getting the most money into the 11 and having a weak bench, because that can work as well. Like, yeah. Obviously, I'm missing Haaland. And that's a tactic. Like, Haaland's amazing. He gets all the points. So I'm not going to say that's the wrong way to play. That's still great. Like, you've got Haaland, you've got Salah, you've got other big hitters, and you've got enablers in your team. That's fine. I can completely get behind that. If Haaland was cheaper, it'd be in my squad. But I have done a draft with Salah and Haaland in it. and then I'm just trying to squeeze other players, and I don't like it.
He's going up though, Andy. By the time you change your mind, he could be 15 points. He could be out of your reach, mate.
Just a blank against Brentford, then he's got Arsenal, and then we'll see what happens. Yeah, that's fine.
Fair play. All right, we're going to move on to the. Thank you for that. Me personally, I like your wildcard team. I know some are not feeling it, some are, but it's what we love about FPL. Everyone's got their opinion. I think your Liverpool fullbacks are going to be the moneymaker for you, Andy. I've been watching them. Obviously, I'm a Liverpool fan. I've been watching the positions they take up, and there's so much points there. And I'm not talking from clean sheets. Just with Trent, he should have had 2 assists and a goal. So forget. I think he's very popular within FPL, but then Robertson as well, like the positioning, the underlapping, that where he's making contact with the ball in the box, incredible position. So those two I love. Lewis, we spoke about already, incredible pick. The only thing that could hinder it is if Pep does a Pep and then he just vanishes.
Sure.
But the rest of the team, I love Eze, Palmer, Rogers. Remains to be seen if there's going to be output, but for that price and in that position, fair play. Salah, we already know, elite, one of the best players in the world. I think he's going to break the assist record. Remember I said that, yeah, he's already got 3. And Semenyo, it'd be interesting to see if he stays in your starting in your squad actually come the deadline.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
It would be interesting. Watkins is the big question mark. I've got a feeling you're not going to stick with him.
I think you could be right. I think every day goes past, as I've said. Yeah, I think Jackson and Isaac. I'm kind of willing Isaac to go down. That's a good thing. I wildcarded, sold Isaac for 8.5, get him back for 8.4. Like, that'd be nice. Yeah.
And rest of the team, it's only Watkins, like you just said. There's the only one, the big quick. Rest of the team is solid, apart from the goal scoring machine, who I said it scores a goal a game. So bear that into your mind. Let's move on quickly before we finish off today. Then we go to the questions. Game week 4 predictions, Andy. Last time we done this, I went back and checked. You was pretty good at this.
I forget what I said game week 1.
Yeah, your predictions were good. If you go back and watch, it's on my channel. I've done a discussion with Andy for game week 1 actually, and he was pretty hit the nail on the head there with some of your predictions. So let's see if you can let's see if you can match that this game week quick, Andy. So Southampton versus Manchester United. And in the chat, please get involved. Let me know your predictions.
Yeah, I love this fixture because I'm a big hater of 12:30 away. Man U.
Pasta at lunchtime.
It's the one fixture they don't want. Down at the Port, Southampton. I'm gonna say 1-1. I'm gonna say it's gonna be horrible for Ten Hag, and the fans are gonna be right on him after this. 1-1.
I'm going to tell you, I want Manchester United to score more goals than 1, Andy, because I have Bruno Fernandes, who has killed me this season.
He's a great player. Great player.
Did you see him for Portugal yesterday? He can't stop scoring and assisting. It's just Manchester United. Oh,
he can assist because Portugal got some elite finishes. Manchester United haven't really got anyone to put the ball in the back of the net apart from Bruno, who I think is elite. So...
Geddy, if this happens, honestly, you'll see me on Twitter jumping around. If this happens, if Bruno braces,
Bruno's a keep. Yeah, Bruno's a keep for sure. But I'm just hoping that 12:30 fixture, Man U, 1-0. Let's go 1-0.
First sack in ETA, emotionally right, FPL amateur.
I had a quick look. Man U have only scored 1 goal at 12:30 since 2022. So how's that? Yeah,
this has got to change this weekend. Otherwise, what FPL amateur said is gonna happen, isn't it, Andy? The firing, the sack is gonna happen. So you don't see many goals there, which is not good for any Manchester United assets. And let's go to Brighton versus Ipswich. Now this is an interesting one because there's a lot of FPL Dunk, Welbeck, Minter, Matoma. There's loads of interesting for us. What do you think here?
I think it's a very interesting fixture. I think Ipswich might surprise. Let's go 3-1 Brighton though. Brighton have got enough to see them off. But I don't think it's a bad display from Ipswich. I think
Jay agrees with you as well.
Yeah, I think they'll show that they're up for taking it to some teams. So Brighton 3-1 though.
If you're thinking that, then possibly you need to squeeze in one of their midfielders in, Andy, to enjoy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's a big possibility there. I'd agree with you as well. I'm going to match that. I think 3-0. I don't think Ipswich score.
I think if I knew Minter or Matoma were playing 60 minutes and I could be promised that, then I'd get them in.
Yeah. No,
but I'm not necessarily think they're starting. I know that's perhaps I'm overthinking it, but I just think like Japan, Brazil.
Really thinks it's 4-0. Wow, everyone's thinking this is going to be a battering. That's very interesting. Ipswich have not been that poor, have they?
No, not at all. I think Ipswich should be fine. 3-1's fair. Yeah,
fair. Crystal Palace at Leicester. Now Eze is in your, well, more than likely going to be in your team, more than likely going to be in my team as well. If you've seen on my channel, I've made a video about him. I'm excited to own him for this fixture here. What do you predict?
I think 3-0. I don't think Leicester are any good. I can see a comfortable 3-0 Palace.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I think the chat 2-1 Palace. Yeah, 2-0. Yeah, I could see. I think a lot of people agree with us, Andy. I think it's a comfortable victory here. Leicester look doomed. Look 3-0. Jay thinks it's 3-0.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, look at this. Yeah, Andy as well. Next game, Fulham versus West Ham.
Difficult to call. I think it could be a game where both teams thinking they can get the win. So let's go 2-2.
2-2. I'm going to go Fulham 2-1 on this. So remember, I'm recording this. I'm going to check. I'm going to compare your results, Andy, compared to the game week 1. See how you get on here. I think the chat 3-1 something, 1-1. Yeah, clean sheet white. Now Liverpool versus Forest. I'm extra invested in this one. What do you reckon, Andy?
See, some have said Forest have started quite well, but their 3 fixtures opening were pretty easy. They're the nicest first 3 fixtures.
Yeah.
Now they're going to Anfield at 3 o'clock on a Saturday. Nah, Liverpool will turn it up. 4-0. Yeah.
4-0. Wow. 4-1. Combs seems to 4-1 by Jay. Wow, people are seeing goals here. I'm gonna go 3-0. Yeah, I'm with you on this. I think they won't be able to 4-0 Trent. Geddy's saying all the right stuff. I really actually hope stuff like this actually happens, because these are all the players in my team. This is actually not my burner account, but I hope you're correct with your predictions, honestly. So right, Manchester City versus Brentford. This is the one for you. You're hoping it's 0-0, but
I mean, I will say as well, I'm getting off work early on Saturday because it's likely that all my players play Saturday, and from 3 o'clock. I haven't got any in the early game, so from 3 till the late game, that's when all my players are playing. So, Man City, Brentford, 4-1, Man City. Hopefully, Haaland just 1 or 2 goals. That's mad, isn't it?
So you're already accepting he's going to have 1. That's like a given. Yeah. For me, with Haaland, I always look at it, even if a non-FPL perspective, say as a Liverpool fan, I'm praying City are going to lose games. I always see that Terminator scored 1 goal. So I look at the opponents and think, are they scoring 2 or 3 to give themselves a chance? Because he's going to score. Look at this 2-1.
Let's have Haaland. Let's have Salah 14 points, Haaland 13 points. Brilliant. Fine. Move on. Yeah, that's good.
If this happens,
Salah beats Haaland by 1 point. Let's have that.
If what Geddy said, if that happens, Andy would delete his account, I reckon.
What was that?
Haaland 4 goals.
He gets 4 goals. It's 4 goals. It's Haaland, right? He can do it.
I think Manchester City 3-0, and I want to predict another hat trick just for the sake of seeing it. Triple hat tricks. Has that been done? I don't think I've seen it.
Can you imagine being on 10 goals after 4 games in the league?
That's outrageous. I don't think I've seen back-to-back hat tricks, 3 of them in a row. He's making a mockery of the Premier League, isn't he, Andy?
I think, please, Brentford, just triple up on him. Get Pinnock, Collins, me, all 3 of them, just stick glued to him. If you lose 4-0 and Haaland hasn't scored, job done.
But you know what Pep does? He knows that. He designs the system. When they all follow him, then Grealish and the rest of them, Doku, and KD. Yeah.
Great.
No, but then
Doku Hill, brilliant, fantastic, love it.
No, but then they'll go there, then they'll just switch. They can't stop the Terminator. He's gonna, just brace yourself at least 1 or 2 goals, Andy. Aston Villa versus Everton.
I think it'd be tougher if Branthwaite's there. But again, it's like a 2-0 Villa. I think it could be quite comfortable at home.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. I think Aston Villa win this game. Yeah. I think they're going to show they've got enough in the locker. Everton started the season horribly, but like you said, if Braithwaite's there, he makes a huge difference. He's there. He's there, Van Dijk, should I say. And then last of the Saturday fixtures is Bournemouth versus Chelsea.
Yeah, 3-2 Chelsea on this one, I think. I think we'll see quite a good game, quite an attacking game. Bournemouth at home. Chelsea look good. But not necessarily defensively, Chelsea look good.
Yeah.
So I think we see goals. I think 3-2 Chelsea. That's fine.
Okay, so you fancy Chelsea. I think there's going to be a draw.
Yeah,
I'm going to go 2-2. Hopefully you're at this game so I can see goals as well, Andy. Yeah, I think there's going to be, you're going to see goals here. Hopefully not too many from Palmer because I don't own him. But yeah, I think the chat will think, look, 2-2, 3-2,
yeah, that
1-2. Tight game though.
Yeah,
4-2, unless you're really thinks there's going to be 17,000 goals this weekend. He's got every game. He's got every game.
I mean, if the fixtures, if the results turn out how they turned out, and Haaland just gets 2 goals, I mean, I've got Liverpool triple up 4-0. I've got Chelsea Palmer. If they score 3, that should be good. I've got Palace Eze. If they score 3 or 4, it's looking all right, isn't it?
Have you noticed, Andy? You're not predicting many clean sheets, and you saw last week there was only 1 clean sheet. That was Liverpool. Is that in your thinking when you've got how you've purchased your defense? You think this is going to be a pattern this season, or you're going to change? As in the way I
don't know. I think there's good defensive teams, and I think we'll see clean sheets from the good teams. I think City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. I would expect them to clean nearly 50% of their games still.
Fair, yeah. Arsenal definitely, yeah. Arsenal's one of the teams I watch, and I'm confident they're going to keep it clean. Liverpool so far in the slot, not too bad as well. Not as that crazy football we've done under Klopp at times, which always gave a team a 1v1. Spurs versus Arsenal. Now, this is the North London derby on Sunday. It's a tasty game. There's normally goals. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think there'll be goals, but I don't think there'll be as many as people think. I think 1-1.
1-1? 2-2, I can see. 2-0. I trust Jay, the Arsenal fans. 2-0 to Arsenal, yeah. Even no Odegaard, no.
Yeah, I don't think Arsenal will be happy with the draw. I think they go there to win. So it depends how the game goes. I'm not sure. Is Van der Ven back? Do you know who Van der Ven's back?
I think, you know what? I actually haven't checked. I can't remember. That's key. Yeah, if he's fit, yeah, he makes a big difference. But it'll be interesting to see what Arsenal do. What do they do in midfield? Do they play Jesus up top and then bring Havertz back in? Havertz has been so good at leading the line. There's a lot of unknowns there. What Arsenal, it's not ideal for them.
I mean, I even thought, do they play Sterling left and bring Trossard more central?
Yeah, that's an option.
I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see what Arsenal do. Yeah, that's going to be a big game. I think there's going to be more goals than that. I'm going to go 2-2. Yeah,
because Trossard could even play up front and then bring Havertz back, like you say, and play Sterling left. If that's the thing.
From what I've seen, moving Havertz is going to be an issue for them. He's done really, really well. He's impressed me under Arteta. Because at one stage, even I had a couple of laughs at him when he was at Chelsea. I didn't think he would be this player. I'm not sure, Andy. Did you think there was a player under there? I didn't.
I saw him at Leverkusen quite a lot. I did watch him. I thought, oh, that's a proper footballer. So I was surprised he flopped at Chelsea. Not flopped, but struggled a bit because I knew there was a footballer there. So I think he is classy, and I think he's showing it now. Yeah,
he is showing it. I think this is one of the big compliments I give Arteta because he really has shined. I mean, if you look at his stats, I think since he's come to the team, and especially when he plays up top, it's incredible. He's delivered. He's like impacting games, and that's what you want from your attacker, whether it's assists or goals. And he really is. He's the real deal. Last game for the game week 4 is going to be Wolves versus Newcastle.
I think this is tough because people say Wolves aren't that good, but I think the fixtures have been hard, and I like Gary O'Neill. I like the Wolves attack. I don't mind the Wolves team. I'm going to say Wolves to win, and it could be the shock of the weekend. People thinking Newcastle go there to win. I'm going to say 2-1 Wolves.
2-1 Wolves. That won't be good for me. You know, I still 6-1 Wolves, Andy.
Andy, mate, come on, mate, come on. I think people might go the whole weekend if they've got 9 results right, and then lose it on the Wolves one.
Yeah, I think
One buster.
I'm hoping I've still got triple Newcastle if I include Hall on the bench, which is I know, Andy. I've run out of changes. I can't afford to. Every week I'm fighting fires, but I am playing Gordon this game week against Wolves.
Fine,
yeah, I think so. In fact, I've got the option, and maybe the chat could help me out, or you can help me out, Andy. Whether it's Gordon or Smith Rowe, who would you play?
Oh, Gordon. Still.
Definitely, isn't it?
Yeah. I think Gordon's more attacking. He's going to get
more minutes.
Box. Yeah, more touches in the box. Smith Rowe is fine, but he's not getting the minutes and not getting the touches in the box or in and around the box. So Gordon for me, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. That rounds that off. Let's quickly go to the quick Q&A. If there's any questions, if you've got any questions for Andy or me, if you want to ask any questions, please put them in the chat now. I've got a couple that I've starred, Andy. Let's have a look here. So FPL amateur, I have 5.3 million for a defender, and I only want someone for game week 4, 5, and 6 because he's wildcard in 6. Want someone exciting, but think it would just be. What's that say at the bottom?
Canate.
Yeah. What are you thinking? Any help? Is there anything for 5.3 that's a bit more exciting?
Bit more exciting
than Canate. Canate's got the clean sheet potential, maybe attacking threat in the box, but yeah. What else could he get? Is there anything else? Is there a fullback we're missing?
I wish Maatsen was playing. I mean, why has Dina got that spot still? Do you go Dina? But
yeah,
I don't know. It's again, it's with European things, so.
He's one of the most transferred players in.
Exciting. Dunk's exciting. Dunk nearly got an assist last game week.
Dunk's not. Sorry to break it to you, Andy. Dunk's not exciting. No, it's not. No one with that name, Dunk, can be exciting. Dunk, no. So yeah, not many options there actually. Let's. What's the next question?
I am trying to wrap my brains. 5.3. I mean, Muniz has got Leicester at home this week. Is that exciting?
Yes, not bad. Yeah.
And then he goes to it's Man U at home, isn't it? Leicester and Man U at home for Muniz.
Who's Man United's fixtures? Mazraoui's had a good start to the season. Mitchell for Palace.
Tyreek Mitchell. There we go.
All right. You heard that there, FPL amateur. That's your exciting pick, Mitchell. Can JFPL has said no Mbuemo? This is a question I saved. It was actually for your wild card. Mbuemo. Why call him Mbuemo? Is that a chocolate? Mbuemo. Mbuemo. Is that? Why is he not in your team?
Because it's City and Spurs next to.
Yeah.
So I don't see why. I don't like playing players at the Etihad because I think they're still the best defensive team, and it's unlikely he'll score. He could score because it's Mbuemo, and City seem to concede every shot on target they face. But City away, I don't want to play Mbuemo. So it's just for me, it's a waste of attacking spot.
Fair.
I'd rather try and get someone that's got better upside 4 and 5, and then Mbuemo in 6 is a planned transfer. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, I agree with that as well. Your namesake, Andy. Why Dunk, Andy, if you're not starting this week? One good fixture before it turns. Surely another 4.5 billion is better.
If Lewis plays 0 minutes, then I've got Dunk coming in. But reliability again. Dunk is there. Dunk could be there all season on the bench. It's 4.5. I'm not going to ever play Dunk. He's just going to be sitting there unless I need him. Yeah. Good bench, right? You can rely on Dunk, can't you? I mean, last season I relied on Kilman sat on my bench all season long, near enough. Week in, week out, sat there as a bench spot because he plays 90 minutes every game. And when he played against Sheffield United and when he played against the other team, Luton, I play Kilman. But I know you're saying Dunk's got Ipswich this week. And do I play Dunk instead of Semenyo? Maybe, but reliability is boring, isn't it?
Yeah. No, but fair play. That's your style of management. You're not going to always chase the exciting pick. Another question here for you. Views on pen takers, and are they key like last season? The reason this question's come up, have you seen the difference between penalties? There's not been many, Andy.
Yeah, Not sure that's coincidence. No, I mean the handball seems to be changing a lot. Like they're not giving handballs for what they were giving handballs for last season. Yeah, I don't know. Perhaps there's less penalties, but that just could be a coincidence. I'd like to see a couple more weeks of see how we go. There could suddenly be an influx of penalties this week, and yeah, I mean maybe refs are being more lenient. I don't know, but I'm still going to get the penalty. Try and get penalty takers. I think they're still going to happen.
It's fair play. Here's another question for you. Before we're nearly going to finish, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Andy's ready. He's had a long day today. He's ready for a nice relaxation and keep. Bowen, you haven't mentioned him. You've not considered him top player. I know the fixtures maybe not the best.
Why do I never really like?
Look at his fixtures,
Andy. By West Ham. I don't know. Maybe my dad's because my dad's a West Ham fan and he's always got Bowen in his squad. Yeah, he's always got Bowen in his team. Bowen's fine.
Like, good fixtures. Fulham, Chelsea, Brentford, Ipswich. Good fixtures.
It's decent.
Yeah.
Bowen's good. Yeah. I don't know why. I never really consider him.
Another question for you, Andy, before we shoot off. Just a couple more. We're going to finish off. Saka for Palmer to save a transfer?
No, I don't think so. I think Palmer's there for long haul, and I think Saka again. I don't want to play Saka at the Etihad. Unfortunately, I don't like playing players away at Man City because I don't think there's points there. And if you get points, I think it's lucky.
Yeah, I'm with you on that front. They're so strong. They keep the ball for 70 minutes in the game. You've got 30 minutes if you're lucky to play with the ball. The probability of you getting something in those minutes is not good. Sell Saka for KDB, wildcard in game week 6. So basically a 2-week punt. He's saying you go for it.
Again, I don't really like KDB against Arsenal. I think he could be good for this week. But again, getting an attacking return against Arsenal is a slimmer chance than other players who've got great fixtures that week. So not for me, but I like KDB a lot. And I think he's someone, again, that could have got a lot more points so far this season. He's looked great.
Yes, actually. Let me see if there's another question here. Oh, we've asked you that already. Andy had another one for you. There's one. Bench one. Robinson, Konza, and Bumo.
Still in Bremo, I think.
Well, you'd bench him.
I know. Mad, isn't it?
And play Konza. If you're lucky. I
got Villa getting the clean sheet this week. Against Everton. I said 2-0. Robinson's got attacking threat. In Bremo, the most likely thing for Bremo is 2 points, I think.
Here's another question for you. This is another issue for Tolu. Bought Konza early for Hall. Barco and Saliba on the bench. Should I -4 or wildcard 5 players in North London derby? Or if they're attacking players.
Yeah, no need for hit. Just play him. It's fine.
I think so.
I'm always against the hit. I say they're unlikely to score, but you never know what happens. North London derby could be 4-4. All your players could return. Then you'll be regretting the hit. It's fine.
No worries. And I think this might be the last question. Look at this. As you're known for this, some of the people that are on the video that don't know Andy on Twitter or X or whatever they call it these days, he's a porridge fan. So look at the question, if this makes sense. What we saying, Andy?
Yeah, it's a good question. The one I go to most often is blueberries, little sprinkle of demerara sugar.
Oh, look at the taste.
Chia seeds and banana is the most staple I go to. I've been known to put a Terry's chocolate orange bits in a porridge, which is nice.
I was just about to say you're so sophisticated, then you just said chocolate bits in there for you.
I like to get the fruit, and I think it sets you up well if you get the fruit in, if you get a couple of fruits in. But yeah, for me, I do the porridge Scottish oats on the hob every morning, so that starts your day up right. And I think if you get the porridge Scottish oats, they're cheap and cheerful from Tesco's or Waitrose or wherever you shop.
Yeah.
With adding some milk, little bit of sugar, blueberries, banana, and a bit of chia seeds. Yeah, can't go wrong.
And before we finish off, I'm going to say, because we've got people in the chat, please like and subscribe. It goes that, does wonders for my channel. So please, I'd really appreciate that. Andy, last question to finish off for Reedy here. He's got a benching conundrum.
Who to start?
Mm.
Not Robinson out of those three. It's between Pedro and Rogers. Probably start Pedro.
Yeah, I'd start Pedro. I know he's mostly worried about his international minutes. I wouldn't worry about that. And I think we're going to finish up on that. Thank you very much. Listen, I want to say thank you very much to everyone who's been on the chat, watching the live stream. Big thank you to Andy, who blessed me with his time. Really appreciate that. I know how
no. Happy to come on. I mean, I could fail. Haaland could get 4 goals, like people are saying. Fine. Yeah.
I think people are desperate for you to fail, Andy, which is bad, really, to be honest. I'm not quite sure. And you, though, also, you go the on. You love it. So if you follow Andy on Twitter, he absolutely loves it. He doesn't shy away. He doesn't. If his team has a shocker, he's there. He owns it.
I'll be more there. Yeah.
He owns it. He loves it. And fair play to him. You got to give him that. So please, if you're not following, I know Andy is not on YouTube, but please follow him on Twitter. I've got his stuff on my description. So before we go, last thing to thank you very much, Andy, and thank you very much to everyone in the chat. Really appreciate that. So I'll see you next time.
Cheers, everyone. Thanks, mate.
Thank you.